I'd like to call upon Sub Connie, please. We have some questions.
Sub Connie's here.
Thank you very much for helping us. Can you start a body scan for Jess and see if there's anything that she needs in terms of balancing and healing?
Yes, we will start from the head.
Thank you. What is happening to her? Do you notice anything that she needs?
She's got very tight muscles. This is from working out, but we can help just ease that muscle there all in. She's got quite a few knots, so we will help in easing that. And her wrist is come back a little bit sore again, so it's okay. We will help her and we will get her all smoothed out.
Thank you. You said she experienced having an asthma attack when she had to wear the mask. Can you tell us about that, please?
Jess knows that wearing a mask is nothing to do with the virus, so that was simply her body rejecting it because it is an evil practice to wear a mask. It's very satanic. Staying 6 feet apart, wearing a mask, that's what they do in satanic rituals. And Jess's body knows this, so it's rejecting the mask because she is of a very high frequency now.
Thank you. She is concerned. Is she going to experience any more of these asthma experiences?
No, she won't experience any more because we'll make sure that that her breathing is sufficient and that she doesn't experience any more of these. That was a one-time thing when she got into the airport, just to show her that that these masks are wrong and they shouldn't be used. But now that she knows that, we will help her with her breathing and we'll stop her from getting any asthma attacks.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that she can relax and not worry about that.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing she was very worried about because she does get asthma, and especially kind of blocking off the oxygen into her lungs. Her lungs are already compromised, so it's not good for her, but we will definitely make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Can you tell me the cause of that? When did it start?
Jess developed asthma from the chemtrails when she was younger. When she developed asthma from about 8 years old, and that is due to the chemtrails that were flying in the sky, that the planes were dropping, and the heavy metals on a lot of people. That's how a lot of children develop asthma, is because of the chemtrails. It's also how a lot of older people get Alzheimer's as well, because of the heavy metals in their brain from the chemtrails, and also in the water, the fluoride in the water.
What purpose does the asthma serve for Jess?
It doesn't really serve any bigger purpose. It's simply a side effect just from the chemtrails.
Okay, thank you. So then you can remove it all from her since there is no lessons there?
We can do that.
Thank you. And does her body have any other heavy metals in her system?
She has some in her intestines. This is why she gets bloated quite a lot. So we will remove those as well.
Thank you. And how will she feel while she processes and detoxes from those?
She'll need to go to the toilet a lot. She'll need to do a number 2 a lot as it comes out. So in the next couple of days, she'll feel like she needs to go to the toilet a lot, and that is just simply the heavy metals coming out.
Okay, thank you. And what are your recommendations to help her pass that through faster and easier?
Drink lots and lots of water. She's actually worried about drinking the tap water, but we are protecting anything bad from going into her system in that water. So
okay, Thank
She
you.
can drink the tap water, it's absolutely fine.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a few other questions, please. Can you tell us if the internet for America and potentially New Zealand and around the world, is there going to be any problems with the internet soon?
Not really, no. There'll be a few little blackouts here and there, but they won't last very long, and it'll be blamed on upgrades to the towers and that kind of stuff, but it's nothing significant.
Okay.
You're not going to have a blackout of internet for a few days. There may be a few little blackouts here and there that won't last more than an hour.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to know about the broadcast, and is there still going to be a broadcast? And if so, how will we experience that?
Disclosure is imminent. It needs to happen because people aren't awakening at the rate that we want them to, and we do need to show some sort of broadcast. We can't really give dates because a few things need to happen before that, and that is all up to the Galactic Federation working with the humans. So we haven't set a date, but it will be happening soon. But you don't need to prepare for it. It will, at this stage, it looks like it will go for about 3 days. But it will be happening around the 11th. Around the 11th at the moment, but that is always subject to change. So disclosure is imminent. We need disclosure to happen in order for people to wake up, because we need them to be in that other type of thinking that they're in now, because of the elections. A lot of people are distracted, a lot of people are focusing on violence, and we need to kind of shock them out of that for them to come together and sort of learn to trust and stop being so fearful.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of the disclosure, what information will be disclosed in that?
Crimes against humanity. You will see confessions. You'll see confessions. You won't see executions, but you'll see the celebrities and the dirty politicians and the lawyers and bankers confessing, and it will be very eye-opening. It'll be very eye-opening. People will learn about the banking system, how they've been enslaved in illegal taxes and illegal banking systems for the last couple hundred years, or 100 years, and also they will learn about the Vatican and what their birth certificates were there for, and all this kind of stuff, that humans have basically been enslaved in the system for a very long time, and they'll learn that, and it will help them to understand these crimes and understand that they need to be in a different frame of thinking in order to come together as one.
Thank you. Had there been other timelines or time schedules for the broadcast to happen?
There has been many, but there's just so much going on behind the scenes because we're ascending. You guys are ascending so soon. We are rushing around like mad beings trying to get everything done on time, and because things happen, a lot of things happen. So for example, there'll be one timeline and we've mapped out all the possibilities for that timeline to this one event. So it'll be going along one line of possibility leading up to the event, and then something will happen which will have to take a different path, which will lead us along the lines of a different possibility, which takes a few days longer to the event. So one little thing that happens can change the timing and change the course, but ultimately it all leads back to the one event. However, it can different sort of possibility altering can lead to a couple days difference.
Okay, thank you. And so if Biden wins the election later today, what does that sort of timeline look like for the broadcast?
Biden's dead. He's not going to win.
What about his clone?
His clone is just on a timer, basically. So Biden won't win anything. Basically think of it as this: all the states or all the votes that he does win are simply mostly just bots. A lot of people who are voting Democrat are actually voting for Trump. And a lot of the famous people who are coming out voting, as telling everyone to vote for Biden, most of them are clones anyway, and they're not voting. So Biden doesn't have one leg to stand on, basically, for this election.
Okay, thank you very much. And how is the reaction throughout that country for when they see that Trump has won again?
There will be shock from a couple of people, but there will be much to celebrate. There will be much celebration, and the celebration will take over any bad protests. So people like Antifa will try to protest, but there's too many Trump supporters and Republicans that will stand ground and protect their ground. And Antifa and the riots, they have no chance really, because there's too many Republicans, there's too many Trump supporters. They outnumber them by a lot. So there'll be more celebration than rioting. But of course, the mainstream media will depict it like Trump's caused all these riots, when really he hasn't. It's the Democrats and Antifa causing all of these riots.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you able to let us know if the light that is on the moon is a hologram?
The light on the moon is not a hologram. There's a station on the moon, and they are simply beaming off a light. Think of it as like a floodlight. So the moon was used as a very evil type. The moon was used for evil forces. It got taken over a long time ago. So now they've kind of been sent packing, and that is merely just a floodlight left from the station. One light left. It's not a hologram. It's just basically a kind of call to show that the station is now empty on there, and there is no one there. It's a signal.
And so what is the shape of the moon and the purpose of the moon now then?
There is no purpose anymore, because there's no need for its purpose. It is now just left to do what it was naturally meant to do, just illuminate, heal. But it has been corrupted for so long that it's lost the abilities to do what it used to do. So now it's merely just a moon doing nothing, sitting there. And it's not affecting any of us now, because we are going soon. So it's merely just a planet type looking circle in the sky.
What is it made out of?
It's made out of white rock. It's hollow on the inside.
Okay. In one of my sessions, I heard that it was like a satellite. How do you explain that?
It's not a satellite. There were satellites on the moon being used by the bad forces. Those satellites can actually, they can communicate with the 5G towers. So they were set up. For bad intentions. So there are a few satellites on the moon set up for that intention because, for the most part, they weren't able to be tracked by anyone on Earth. So they were merely just satellites on the moon that they were activating to communicate with the 5G towers.
And tell me about the 5G towers.
5G towers are not activated. They were put up by the cabal, you could say the elite, to trigger illnesses in humans that would work in unison with the COVID vaccine and also the chemtrails that they were spraying. They could activate from the moon, they could turn on a switch and activate any illness inside the body. They could activate cancer. So it worked as like a satellite to the 5G towers to the humans, and they were also getting rained on with heavy metals by the chemtrails. So we disarmed all of this, but if it had gone to plan, it would be diabolical. Humans would be walking around like zombies right now, but we would never let that happen.
Okay, thank you. And I got the impression though that the moon was kind of like a somehow connected to like a satellite as such to bring energy from other planets to the moon to then beam back onto the planet, and that's why people were infatuated with the moon, because it made them feel closer to their homes in an energetic way.
That was the original intent. That's what the moon was used for. The moon itself could absorb energies from other planets. However, when it got taken over, it was blocked. So it couldn't do that anymore. But that's how it used to work. Yes, it would absorb energies from other planets, and it would beam light, luminous light onto the Earth. But that did get taken over by the cabal and by the bad people. So that wasn't the case.
Can you give me a kind of a rough timeline of when that was taken over?
That was taken over. We're showing Jess about 40 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, and so then the next question is, did Ronald Reagan, when there was an attempt to assassinate him, did he truly die? Did he die, or and then be cloned, or is it, as we have been told, that it was a failed attempt of assassination?
Ronald Reagan did not die. He was part of the alliance. He was part of the plan that was coming together. So he did not die. He there was a clone of him, but he did go away into hiding. But he was part of the plan that is being played out today, along with the Kennedys and the Trumps.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm also curious to know if when did what happened to Bill Clinton? I'm curious.
Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was killed in 2009. He was cloned. However, he was cloned by the bad people. He was cloned by the cabal and programmed to do all the bad things that he was still doing. So they did kill him because he had so much power, but they could see that he was starting to feel guilty and starting to get a little bit of a conscience. So they had to take him out to continue what they were doing, to continue to do what they were doing.
Is it possible that someone could be cloned by the dark side, shall we say, and then also cloned by the light?
Yes, that's possible. The light can also turn the dark clones to light. So it's merely just a flip of a switch, a reprogramming.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the bad clones did actually get taken in by the white hats and reprogrammed.
Okay. And is it, I don't quite know much about clones really as such, but I mean, is it humans that make the clones, or is it other beings that make the clones?
It's humans that make the clones with off-Earth technology. So human beings are behind making the clones, but they make the clones with technology, alien technology, you could say. So it's humans and off-Earth.
Okay. Thank you very much. So interesting. And then what about Hillary Clinton? What happened to her?
Hillary Clinton, showing just 2010. Hillary Clinton actually was the one that organized Bill Clinton to be killed. She was cloned in 2010. That's when her first clone was, but she wasn't executed until 2017. So she was the one that was behind Bill Clinton being killed. Bill Clinton was cloned in 2009. Hillary Clinton was first cloned in 2010, but wasn't killed until 2017.
Okay, thank you. And why was Hillary getting Bill executed?
Hillary could see that Bill was getting a conscience, and Hillary is one of the most satanic evil witches to walk this earth. She didn't want him ruining her chances of becoming the president. She didn't want him holding her back. She didn't want him spilling secrets. It would be detrimental to her work, as you'd say. She didn't want him basically in the way and coming clean with any of the stuff and whistleblowing, basically. So she had to get rid of him.
I see. Thank you so much. And in terms of the med beds, can you still see that happening? And if so, when?
The med beds are still happening. The med beds are still happening before the Ascension. We see them in the next couple of weeks in December, but very early start of December. So although we're not good with time, we could give you about 3.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And will this be worldwide, or how do you see this unfolding?
Yes, it will be worldwide, and it'll be available to everyone worldwide. Donald Trump, when he talks about ventilators and producing ventilators and shipping them around the world, he's talking about med beds. So he has said in many of his press conferences that they've mass-produced and shipped worldwide ventilators, and he's actually referring to med beds. So they'll be available in every country soon, and there's many of them.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of my clients who have experienced med beds on ships,
Um, woo, the med beds on ship are not the same as the med beds on Earth. The med bed is a human term given to healing beds, but the med beds on our ships, they are of off Earth technology. So the med beds, we'll call them med beds, are more to help you sort of emerge into a lightened body, whereas the med beds on Earth are more to heal tumors and diseases and balance the body, balance the human body.
okay. And when people experience the med beds on the ships, will they then go to New Earth or will they come back to this Earth?
They will come back. They'll come back when they're beamed up. When they get their crystalline bodies, they will experience a medbed type experience on the ship, and then they'll come back down.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think I understand that and all of the differences there. Is it true that Hitler tried to bring down the cabal?
Yes, Hitler was not, and this is going to hurt a lot of people's ears. Hitler was not the man everyone thought he was. In fact, Winston Churchill was the evil one. Winston Churchill was the one that killed a lot of Jews and ordered mass murderings. Adolf Hitler was a brilliant man. He was an architect. He was very, very smart. He loved his people, and he tried his very best to get his people away from all the bad. So he was not a bad man that didn't like any Germans or didn't like Jews. He was trying to take the cabal down, and he almost very much succeeded, but the cabal couldn't be having that, could they? So they took him out, rewrote the history books, and Hitler today is a bad man that killed Jews in concentration camps, which just simply isn't the truth. There was no gas chambers in concentration camps. What you have seen, what you have been told is completely false. Those concentration camps were built to help protect the Jews that were not rich enough to get away, not to kill them.
Far out. That's definitely new history, isn't it?
Yes, there'll be a lot of upset Jewish ascended families from Germany, because a lot of them have thought that they had been victims, or thought that their family had been victims, but they haven't been. So there'll be a lot of distress about that, because the history books nothing in the history books is correct. Nothing.
And so what happened to Hitler?
Hitler was taken out by the cabal. He was killed. He was cloned. So his real body was taken out, and he was cloned by the cabal, and then that clone just lived his days until his timer was up, I guess. So the real Hitler was taken out by the cabal.
Did Hitler have any family?
Hitler did have children and grandchildren. Hitler has ties to Hitler had ties to George Soros, but George Soros wanted Hitler to do all these nasty things, and Hitler didn't want to. So George Soros was behind a lot of taking Hitler out.
Okay. How interesting. Thank you. Is there still going to be a human disclosure?
There's no more time for a human disclosure. The human disclosure did happen on some sort of level with the Chinese patriots leaking all the Hunter Biden laptop information every hour. So that was the human, more on the human disclosure, but there is no time for two broadcasts. There can only be the one big one because we are running out of time. So the human disclosure still happened, but it was not what you think it was. It was the releasing of info. And the people that knew about, that was resonating with the QAnons and the people that knew about how corrupt the Biden family is. So that was a disclosure, but it was more for them, kind of to say, yeah, you guys, we know you guys are right, and here's the info, and you were right to believe all this corruptness that was going on. And a lot of it did, that turned a lot of Biden lovers into Biden haters. So that served its purpose. But there was no alerts. There was no alerts. There wasn't going to be alerts on the phone. That will happen, but not, it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, thank you. In terms of the veil lifting, for the lifesavers, is there still a need for the life-saving role?
Yes, there's still a need for them. They will play a very important role. They are needed because they're needed more than ever, especially in these last couple of months, because they're going to help people feel calm, help people not fear, and we need people in a non-feared state of mind in order to help them ascend better. So they're definitely needed. They need to come back down here to Earth and help humanity, yeah.
Okay, and when they are upgraded, is their veil lifted?
Their veil will, yes and no. It's hard to explain. Not completely, because they are coming back down here. They will feel, in a sense, they won't remember everything. They will feel everything. So they will get a lot more emotional when they see certain things, just like when Jess got triggered and missed all of her brothers and sisters, and with that video that Kane sent through, because that's triggering memories. So as they're getting upgraded, memories are triggering, and people are getting emotional. So as they get a crystalline body and come back down, they'll just have a more heightened sense of who they were in the past, and certain things will trigger more profound memories, and they'll feel a lot more. They'll feel a lot more.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And is it true that the way that we have been upgraded and our genes have been upgraded has paused us and stopped us from ascending?
Not paused. It hasn't stopped you from ascending, because now isn't the time to ascend, and a lot of things need to happen when you ascend with energy. So you won't be able to ascend without a certain type of energy coming down onto the earth. So we can beam enough upgrades to you where you can ascend now, but we are just simply not doing that right now. We're just giving you smaller doses of upgrades. So in a sense, yes, it is stopping you from ascending, but that's because we're choosing sort of the amount of energy we give you. So You couldn't ascend right now with the amount of energy we've given you. We have to really up the volume on that in order for you to ascend.
Thank you. I think some people think that because we have had our genes manipulated, it is keeping us on the earth and not being able to ascend.
No, it's very much incorrect. That's not it at all. It's got nothing to do with your genes. With your genes, us with our technology and what we can beam down onto Earth can upgrade you profoundly. It can change your DNA. It can change your genes. So it's got nothing to do with that. It's just simply us. It's us controlling the amount of energy that we're beaming. So it's not, no dense energy can keep you down here. We can bring you up whenever we want.
Thank you. Some people say we're trapped here and we have to keep on reincarnating, and that there is a block, a shield from our souls allowing to be left and to leave here. What do you have to say about that?
That is also incorrect. You're not trapped here. You are allowed to. You can leave whenever you like. So the only reason you reincarnate is because you want to learn different lessons. It is your choice to reincarnate. It is your choice. You do not have to reincarnate here if you do not want to. You have free will. But a lot of you just want to reincarnate because you want to learn more lessons. You want to experience human things. So you do not have to come back down here. You simply choose to come back down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And in terms of laws, or the need to have some type of law for the new earth, what do you say about that?
The laws are nothing like the laws down here. There's no sort of government and police officers, and the laws are more the laws of protecting the planet, we'll say, and protecting other beings. So there is a law to you cannot harm the planet or other beings, but you also will not want to. So you won't see it as laws because it's not like it's something that you're not allowed to do. It's something that you simply won't want to do. So the laws are merely it's kind of hard to explain in human language, but the laws are merely guidelines, we'll say, to follow. It's about protecting beings, protecting you, protecting yourself, protecting the new earth. And the laws, if you can think of it as the law of attraction, those work profoundly on new earth. Law of attraction, it's very hard to explain. We can't really find the right words because it's kind of language that you won't understand on a human level. Okay. But the laws are very much the universal laws. So it's more, we want to say protecting, but there's no enforcement type laws up there. Everything's all very free, and there's just a law to sort of, love.
Okay.
Love who you are, love everyone else.
Thank you. Subconscious, has Jess heard of the woman Cindy K. Courier?
No, she hasn't.
Okay, so she is saying that there is a galactic lawsuit happening right now. What do you have to say about that?
There's a galactic lawsuit that has already happened. That was a galactic lawsuit in regards to the new Earth. So, okay, there is a lawsuit going on with the reptilians. We are giving them I guess you'd call it on a human level, they're in galactic court, and they're getting their judgment day, basically. So when that was one sort of lawsuit, Jess is so confused right now. But there was a galactic lawsuit hearing about forming new Earth, and who would ascend and where it would be. And it was kind of the lawsuit to say who would be protecting the new Earth, but we are not aware of a lawsuit with regards to any other laws or beings being charged, if that's what that means.
Okay, and so tell me more about the verdict lawsuit then regarding the new Earth, please.
So it wasn't a law, sort of like a lawsuit. It was more a hearing, a get together with the Galactic Federation, with the higher beings, to say who would be protecting Earth. And we don't want to give that away because you will meet them. You all will meet all the other beings that are protecting the new Earth when you get there. But there is we're showing Jess like a big table with all these different beings on there, planning and making the new Earth what it is now, but we're unaware of any other lawsuit.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. So no real lawsuits in any human courts?
What do you mean? In a lawsuit here down on Earth?
Yeah, no real lawsuits.
No lawsuits up in no real lawsuits up in the up above. There's no lawsuits down here either on Earth that we're aware of.
Thank you. And this woman, Cindy, is saying that there is law of the land. She's handing out booklets about the law of the land on the new Earth.
No, we haven't given anyone information about any of the laws of the land. So that is simply not true, because that is very, as you'd say down here, top class, high information, and we haven't given anybody that information yet. That hasn't even been finished properly. So no, that's simply not true. We haven't given any being, any human, that information.
Okay, fantastic. And what about us needing to elect a sheriff for our regions on the new Earth now, on this current Earth?
No, you don't need to do that. There's not a sheriff. There won't be sheriffs up there. There will simply be a community. There are communities, and you will elect, I guess, a community leader, but these community leaders won't be any more superior, and they won't see themselves as superior. They won't have any more enforcement. They are simply there to help people. They are sort of higher beings that are there to help the New Earth people with their community. So there will be certain higher beings that have been posted to different communities that will be there to help and guide, but there is definitely no police or sheriffs that you need to worry about down here. That is simply ego talking.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the purpose of our experiences on the new Earth, is it for the higher dimensional emotions, the more connection, peace, love, joy, all of those profoundly felt?
Yes, it's more to master also different skills, so telepathy, different connections. It is to master unconditional love and the feelings. You don't get feelings, well, you can, but you don't have to feel them. Feelings of anger, ego feelings, you don't get those up in the new Earth because you're simply not in that mindset anymore. But as you master different skills and master different emotions, which are all happy emotions, and there'll also be different emotions that you'll feel that you haven't felt down here, and they'll be completely new. Once you've mastered all of those, you will simply evolve.
Thank you. And does our ego go with us in the 5D?
No, egos are only with third dimensional bodies. You can choose to feel the emotions of your ego, but it's only there. So you leave your ego behind, but you can simply tap in to your ego up in the fifth dimension, but you will not act upon it, and it won't. You can choose to experience it for 5 minutes and then turn it off. So in a sense it can go with you, but simply to experience it if you want to, and then you can turn it straight off.
Okay, thank you. Fantastic. And in terms of when babies and children go to the new earth, will they still be children or an adult form?
They will still be in their children form. They are higher beings, of course. They will be in their they'll still be quite, everyone will still be quite physical looking. There will be some in their children form that will stay in their children form, and some of them, it's all about choice. Some of them have chosen to stay in their child form and grow from there, and some of them have chosen their adult form. So it is up to the child what they wanted in their contract. So some of them will choose to stay small and grow, and some of them will choose to be in their bigger being selves.
Thank you. And that's just part of the family dynamic contract of how they're going to experience and learn and grow from the 5D existence.
That's right. The children that choose to go to the new earth with their bigger being bodies, they are there to help guide their family. And then the smaller ones, they're still there learning. They still want to learn more lessons as a child.
Fantastic, thank you. And tell me about the AI agenda. What is AI agenda, and will it even come to fruition because we're going through these shifts?
AI agenda. So the agenda of the AI was to basically turn humans into humanoid robots with different chips, with different technology, chips in the brain, chips and microchips, basically. No, that is not coming into fruition. We would never let that happen. However, that was a plan, and they did come close. They had it all ready to go. They do have it all ready to go, and we simply disarmed. So the AI agenda was to turn humans basically into slave bots with so much technology implanted into them that they can't even think for themselves anymore. So they make perfect slaves for the elite.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for explaining that. And then in terms of Jess's light body, when will she experience that upgrade? Is it?
After the 11th. She will experience it this month after the 11th. But again, we don't like to give proper dates because things always change, but we can assure her that it will be this month. She needs to go earlier. She has a lot to do. She needs to go earlier.
Okay. Does she have any other missions she needs to do apart from her life-saving role?
Not on this earth. So her mission on this earth was the life-saving role, and that was the main reason she came down. She's a very big, advanced being, and she only chose to come down for this lifetime to help humanity, so she could be a lifesaver. She was. It is a great honor for her, but she was just, when she was writing a contract, she was like, "Oh my God, why am I going down here?" Because you literally have to dumb yourself down. You guys, all of you are so knowledgeable. You have so much powerful knowledge, and you simply, because of the veil, obviously, it's so hard. It's actually hard for us to watch because we know how smart and powerful you all are, and then just to see you guys dumb down, into a human level, it's almost laughable because we're like, oh my God, look at them. They're just these little zombies, little human zombies. They're such powerful beings, and they've had to dumb themselves down And it's laughable, but it's just like, oh, you poor things, you know, we understand. But yeah, so Jess was like, God damn it, I have to go back down again. But no, her mission on this earth, this planet, was just for this purpose, for the life-saving role to help humanity.
Yeah, and subconscious, we kind of like the term emotional zombie. So if you could just acknowledge how we feel about being emotional zombies down here, that would be good. Thank you.
Yes, you guys, we know. We can tap into your energy and we feel it, and then we have to turn it off because it's intense, the emotions that you guys feel. But you know what? You guys are used to it and you're doing really well, but my goodness, it's tough. You guys don't realize how tough it is. You won't realize how tough it is until you come to the new planet. You'll be like, you'll be like, I'm a victim.
I'm sorry for tapping into us and that bringing you down. That must be hard.
No, we choose to do it on purpose. We like to, because we like to experience it as well. But sometimes we accidentally tap into you guys when you're feeling real low and we're like, oh, turn it off.
Okay, well, sorry about it, but not really. Okay, thank you so much for that.